behind Canada's peaceful beauty lies a chilling secret, a family torn apart by unimaginable violence. This is not just a story of hope and new beginnings, but also one of heartbreak and warning. What happened to the Gakal family will shock you and make you rethink everything you thought you knew about safety and trust. Welcome to our channel Life in Frames. In 1977, the Canadian government opened its doors to immigrants from South Asia, welcoming those seeking a fresh start and a brighter future. Among them was Karnal Singh Gakal, a hardworking man with a humble life in India but a heart full of hope. Though Karnal lived comfortably on his farm, tending crops and caring for the land every day, he carried a deep sadness. He had never gone to school. He longed for better opportunities for his children, especially his daughters. He dreamed of a future where they could attend good schools, learn, and build lives richer than his own. Canada, with its promise of excellent education and opportunities, seemed like the perfect place for this dream. Soon after hearing the news, Karnal eagerly submitted his immigration application. Months later, he received the letter he had been waiting for. Their papers were approved. But at that time, only one plane ticket was available, so Karnal made the difficult decision to go first. His plan was clear: find work, save money, secure a home, and then bring his wife Darren and their daughters Jasbir, Rayar, and Balander to join him. Landing in British Columbia, Karnal was met with a world unlike any he had known. The cold air, unfamiliar customs, and hard labor tested his resolve. His first job was in a fruit barn near the small town of Vernon, picking apples and other fruits under a harsh sun. Each morning he woke to an empty home, and each night he went to bed missing his family deeply. The loneliness weighed heavy, and the challenges often made him question his decision. Yet Karnal was not a man to give up easily. His purpose, to build a better life for his loved ones, kept him moving forward. After 2 years of relentless work, he earned a position operating a planer machine at a local lumber mill. Picked blueberries part-time, saving every penny. Eventually, he was able to buy a 3-story house. Soon, in 1974, his wife and daughters arrived to join him in Canada. Life gradually grew steadier. Karnal continued working at the mill and eventually secured a better job. Meanwhile, he helped his brothers and sister immigrate as well, extending the family's roots in their new home. Their family expanded, blessed with 3 more children, Kulvinder, Harander, and finally a son, Jaspal Singh. All 6 children grew up in a nurturing home where education was treasured. The eldest daughter, Jasbir, became a social worker. Rayar completed dental hygiene studies. Balander pursued pharmacy. Kulvinder studied criminology at university. A bright student dreamed of becoming a chemical engineer. And young Jaspal was in grade 9. Years passed, and it was time to arrange marriages for the older daughters. Karnal and Darren carefully ensured that every detail was perfect. The first wedding was for Jasbir, who married Baljit Singh Khairan, known as Roger, a correction officer. Jasbir continued her work supporting women facing domestic abuse, and together with Roger, they built a loving home in Abbotsford, raising 3 daughters. In 1994, Rayar, the second daughter, married Sukhwinder Vijay Chahal Mark, a well-respected chartered accountant from a Punjabi family. Their wedding was a grand celebration with nearly 400 guests. Held at the Okanagan Sikh temple initially, everything seemed hopeful. Both Rajar and Mark had stable jobs and life appeared promising. But on their wedding night, cracks began to show. Mark drank excessively and during a quarrel slapped Rajar and spoke cruelly to her. This was just the beginning of a dark and painful chapter. Over the following months, Mark's abusive behavior worsened. He physically assaulted Rajar, kicking, punching, dragging her, leaving bruises and scars that told a story of suffering hidden behind closed doors. He terrorized her with threats, warning that if she ever spoke out, he would kill her. His control extended beyond violence. Mark isolated Rayar from friends, neighbors, and even her own children. He forbade her from answering the phone or maintaining any outside contact. Why did Rayar, a smart and courageous woman, endure such pain? She grew up with strong family values and a deep sense of honor. Divorce felt like a shame she could not bear. Protecting her family's reputation was paramount. Eventually, Roger found the strength to seek help. She fled to her sister Jasbir's home and stayed there for 3 days. Together, they confided in their parents, revealing the horror Rayar had endured. Carnal and Darren were heartbroken, but stood firmly by their daughter, offering love and support. On January 5, 1995, Rayar filed a police report against Mark. Though she asked that his name not be publicly mentioned, the police accepted her statement but took no immediate action, while Raja struggled with separation and the looming divorce. Carnal and Darren were also preparing for another wedding, their daughter Bo Winders. This time, they took extra care, investigating every detail about the groom's background before giving consent. Meanwhile, Mark's anger and instability grew. Before even meeting Rayar, he had obtained a license to own a firearm, a rare privilege in Canada. After their marriage ended, Mark purchased a semi-automatic pistol from the United States, a weapon illegal for most citizens. He practiced shooting daily at a rifle range and sent threatening phone calls to Rayar and her family. Although Rayar reported these threats, the police could find no proof and dropped the case. This only enraged Mark further. By January 1996, the divorce was scheduled for court. Mark learned that Bo Winders' wedding was planned for June 6, 1996. Just 2 days before that joyous occasion, Mark packed his belongings and guns into his car and drove for hours to Toronto International Airport, only 30 minutes from the Gakal family home in Vernon. There, he rented a van and quietly returned to Vernon, booking a hotel room just kilometers from his former in-laws' house. April 5, 1996. The day of the Mondi Henna party. The Gakal family home was filled with happiness and preparation. Lights twinkled, flowers decorated the yard. Sisters, daughters, sons, and grandchildren gathered for celebration. At around 10:30 a.m., as Carnal washed his car outside, Mark emerged from the green van parked nearby. Without warning, he opened fire. Carnal fell, wounded in front of his home. Mark fired again, shattering windows, then stormed inside. In the living room, Jasper sat with her daughters watching cartoons. Rayar and her mother were nearby. Mark moved through the house, firing relentlessly. In minutes, the Gakal family was shattered. Neighbors called 911 in shock. Police arrived to find carnage. Carnal and Darren shot dead outside and inside the house. Jasper's lifeless body lay on the sofa, her 3 daughters clinging to her. Roger, Jasper's husband, lay wounded but whispered Mark's name before passing. Other family members, Ballander, Tarander, and Jaspel, were found gravely injured but alive. Sadly, none survived long enough for hospital care. In just minutes, Mark had destroyed a family that had dreamed of hope, education, and love. Returning to his hotel room, Mark left a note apologizing to his family, then took his own life with his firearm. The town mourned. The joyous wedding preparations turned into funerals filled with sorrow and unity as the Sikh community gathered to honor the lost. Only 4 survived: Jasbir's 3 young daughters and their grandmother. Gakhal. This tragic story reveals the dark consequences of unchecked anger. It's the pain of domestic violence and the importance of recognizing warning signs before it is too late. No family should endure such heartbreak. If this story moved you, please leave a heart in the comments and share your thoughts. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications to stay informed about more stories.